Hello, hello, hello. It's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Successfully. Successfully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me your personal professional butt kicker. Welcome to the Corporate Escape Route, where we are passionate about helping coaches and consultants get their first 20 clients in 12 months or less. We want to make sure that you have the option. We're trying to kind of shift our content and shift our thinking around client acquisition, and so not just working on the fundamentals, but how do you get more once you have your fundamentals in place and you know who you serve, what offers you have, and how you're going to get in front of them? How do you scale it? So we're going to be talking more about client acquisition in the company coming months. So I want to welcome you. I'm so glad to see your face in the place. If you are new here, we're extending a warm welcome to you. If you've been here for a while and you've been standing up against the wall, come on, get involved. We are so excited to have you. We're so excited that it's Monday. We've been talking about pricing the last couple weeks, and so today we're going to tackle a question that I feel comes up quite a bit, and that's around the idea of when do you raise your prices and kind of how do you do that? What's some approaches? So last week I gave you some tips on how to kind of set your prices, but when is it time to raise it? So I'm going to walk through a couple really actionable things to think about when it comes to pricing. And so, couple announcements. Couple announcements. Um, Everyone in this group has a personal concierge. So, if you have any questions, if you're looking for resources, you're stuck, you want support amplifying what you have coming up, your upcoming events, um, you're interested in hearing more about what we do here at Success Bully. Everybody in this group has a personal concierge. So if your first name begins with the letters A through M, as in Mary, your first name begins with the letters A through M, Cy is your personal concierge. So Cy, go ahead and wave at the good people. If your first name begins with the letters N through Z, N is in Nancy, Z is in zebra, whatever. Then Lucille is your personal concierge. So Lucille, if you could wave at everybody and just say hello. I'm sorry, my hands were so ashy. I had to do something about it. I didn't want my ashy hands popping up on camera. And so yeah, so you each have a concierge. Look for a friend request from them. Look for a friend request from me because we want to be connected. Look for a friend request. Look for direct messages. If you aren't seeing any information from us, it's probably because we aren't friends. But there is a very short video walkthrough that is tagged at the top of the group that explains how to find messages from us if you haven't seen or heard from us. Okay, but everyone should have been tagged in a welcome post. Everyone should have been tagged in a post and messaged by their concierge. So if you're not seeing that, raise your hand and we'll make sure to connect with you. All right. So today, again, I want to talk about raising your prices. When do you do it? How do you do it? What does that look like? I think that is something that comes up all the time. And being a girl about town and um, working with coaches and consultants, especially those who are kind of earlier on in their journey, that the money conversation is always challenging. The setting your prices, getting paid with your worth. It's always it's where do you start, where do you go with it, right? And so I want to kind of just chat with you on why is it important to raise your prices over the course of your time building your practice. So why this is important for us to have this conversation because generally speaking, if you are newer, if you're newer in your practice, you're probably undercharging, right? And you may be discounting or kind of pricing things based on your lack of experience or that you're new, or maybe you're just uncomfortable having the conversation about money, or um, maybe you're just trying to get your first couple clients, so you're taking whatever you can get. And what I want to stress for you is that when you underprice, you end up over servicing them, right? So giving them um more value than they paid for, which we do want to an extent, we want to provide enough value. We want to exceed our clients' expectations. But if you continue to undercharge for your services, what happens is that leads to burnout, that leads to frustration, and that leads to you eventually start resenting those low paying clients where you're like, oh, I got to talk to this person again. It starts to build a resentment. And then you start finding that you've just basically created a job for yourself where, like, it doesn't generate enough revenue for you to be able to make different choices, right? So it becomes being a low paying part time job, and now you're resenting it. Now you're frustrated, and then you eventually quit or you press pause or you try to find, you go on to the next thing. You might start another business because this business isn't making enough money. And so I just want you to pause right there and just know that my first ask of you, of my three tips on raising your prices today, right now, I want you to raise your prices. I don't care how much experience you have. I don't care how long you've been doing this. I don't care if you say all I'm attracting is broke people that don't have money. Raise those prices. Raise those prices. No, everybody ain't for you. Because like when you really think about it, is there something you need to add to your program? Is there some additional service or some additional support or additional meetings or additional, is there anything you need to add to your program to justify raising the cost? Generally speaking, the answer is no. Generally speaking, the answer is no, right? What you need to add, or probably should add, is kind of that shift in mindset and belief, right? That shift in mindset and belief. Like oftentimes, especially for folks that are newer in their journey, um, we're spending other people's money for them. We don't give them a chance to say no. We just assume they don't have the money, right? And I'm going to tell you this: it's a lot easier to get somebody to spend a few $1,000s with you than it is to get them to spend a few $100s with you. It's a lot easier to get someone to spend a few thousands of dollars than it is a few hundreds of dollars. Like the scarcity seems to be a little higher with a lower value package, whereas the investment and open mindset seems to be mindset is a little more flexible when we're talking bigger numbers, right? So when I think back on, and I'll be the first one to tell you, my very first client, I think I packaged my first coaching package was maybe like $300 or something like that, something ridiculously low. And I want to say we broke it into 3 payments, and I forgot to invoice her for one of those payments, right? And when I think about my coaching methodology when I was first starting out versus what it is now, not much has shifted. I will say I feel like I'm a better coach. I have more experience, obviously, but also like I have a winning track record. So I have some really great client wins. I have some really awesome testimonials. I've worked with some of the biggest brands on the planet. And so like that kind of speaks, that validates me. I've been featured in Forbes and several national publications. I've been on television, like we're shopping a book deal. So there's all these different things that kind of validate it. But what I do has not changed dramatically. Right. What I do with my clients has not changed dramatically. And so what has changed is my belief. What has changed is my track record, and what has changed is my experience level. But the actual way that I work with clients has not shifted much, right? So I want you to just consider that 5 years from now, the way that you work with your clients is probably not going to be very different. And so you're a good coach. You're a good coach. You're a good coach. Raise your prices right now, today. Raise your prices. When you jump off this live stream, raise your prices, even if it's by $25. Even if all you can stomach is a $50 increase, raise your prices. Raise your prices. I promise you, what you do with your clients, yes, you will get better at it, but what makes you a very amazing coach, what really makes you a person that can usher in big changes, that can create transformation for others, that special sauce is already inside you. That already exists. You already have that. That's the thing that your friends have been asking you for years. It's what people call you up for in the middle of the night. It's what you're asked to do at work, where you're volunteered for. That's already inside of you. What makes you an awesome coach already exists inside of you. Your approach will get better, your client acquisition will get better, your testimonials will get better, you'll have more profound impact as time goes on. But that secret sauce is already inside of you. What separates you from everybody else out there in a growing industry, a rapidly growing industry, is already inside of you. And so, like, that's what you're going to be charging for anyway, is what's already inside of you. Okay. So, first things first, raise your prices today. Whatever you can stomach, just raise those prices. And I will suggest practicing in the mirror, practice saying the new prices, practice that even now as somebody who charges thousands of dollars to work with me, and close to 25 grand to work with me for the year, one on one. I have to practice that. I have to practice saying that. I have to practice saying it. I have to practice in the mirror. I have to kind of walk the practice before I get on the consultation call. So do practice it, even if it's a $50 shift. Practice that language. Okay. And the second thing on how and when to raise your prices. Here's my second point on how and when to raise your prices. So if you have a coaching package, or you are a consultant and you've put together a proposal. You have, and you kind of have these similar services that you're doing over and over for people. After you have sold 3 of those packages, or for our consultants, 3 of those services, after you've sold 3, raise your price. So every 3, raise your price. And that's up to you on whether you walk it up a few dollars, whether you walk it up a few $100s, or you walk it up a few $1,000s. After you sell 3, I want you to raise your price and just keep that as a best practice. Because like, you may not have 20, 30 clients a quarter. You may have 3 really big projects a quarter, right? So just 3, think of 3 as that magic number. And so 3 is proof of confidence, a proof of concept, right? It's proof that it works, that people want it and they're willing to pay for it. So three is a proof of concept. And then 3 is also your confidence boost. So if you sold 3 at a certain price, then you know that it's time to walk it up. Now, if you're struggling to sell 3 of them after you've raised your price, maybe there's a middle ground that you have to kind of land at. But like generally speaking, our best practice, and this is, I've been doing this for years, and it doesn't have to be a big jump, but every three new clients, every 3 new folks to enroll in group coaching, price goes up every three, right? And so you don't necessarily have to wait for the end of the quarter. You don't have to wait until you don't have to wait till the first of the month. You don't have to wait to the end of the year. You don't have to wait for some moment in time. After you have sold 3 at one price, raise your price. Then there's not a question of when you're going to do it. It's not a question of when you have to do it. It just becomes part of your routine. And again, you can set the standard on what that price increase will look like. Is it, $25? Is it $50? Is it $100? Is it a few $100s? Is it $1,000? Whatever that is, just know after you do 3, raise it. Just keep raising it. The market will tell you that it's time to stop raising your prices. The market will react. So, you'll start getting more pushback if you've gone too far out of bounds. But generally speaking, most of us are a little earlier on in our journey, so you're probably not close to the market rate just yet. You're probably still under market rate. So yeah, after 3, go ahead and raise those prices. Go ahead and raise the prices. Okay. And then my final tip on when and how to raise your prices. I want you to think about capacity. Capacity. So what can you hold on a roster, whether that's um clients, whether that's as a consultant, how many projects can you hold? I want you to really think, what can you reasonably hold on your roster at any given time? What is your capacity? What's your capacity? When are you getting to that place where enough is enough, too much is too much, right? Because if you think about it in terms of like airplane pricing, that the more full the airplane, the more expensive the ticket, right? So the last few spots on the airplane are probably the most expensive seats on the plane, right? So I want you to think the same way with your roster, that as you're getting closer to capacity, that your time has become more valuable, right? Your time has become more valuable because there are more people that you have to service. So time has your time is just more valuable now, right? So think about that capacity. Like when you get to those last 2 spots, those should be your most expensive spots on your one-on-one roster. And in your group coaching, there's always an incentive for early birds. right? There's an incentive to join early birds. If you are on the fence and you want to join group coaching next month, guess what, y'all? Price has gone up. Price has gone up, right? The investment has gone up. So again, think about your capacity. When do you start getting to a place where they got to talk to somebody on your team and they don't talk to you, that you don't attend the meetings anymore, right? Or you attend the strategy meeting, but you're not in the weekly meetings. When do you hit that? When do you hit capacity and price according to that? So, like, the closer you are to your capacity, that is when I would say raise those prices. So, we raise prices today. So, my 3 tips: raise it today. I don't care where you are in your journey, how long you've been doing this, how many clients you've had. Do me a favor. When you click end on this broadcast, when you decide to get back to whatever it is you're going to do with your day, the next time you have a consultation call, raise those prices. Raise the price. Just raise the price. Just raise it today. Just raise those prices today. Just go ahead and raise the price. Secondly, raise your price after you sold 3 at a certain price. So if you sold 3 packages at $1,000, the 4th package needs to be 1,100, right? That's just an example. Whatever math works for you. That's not hard and fast. But 3, again, it's proof of concept. It should give you a confidence boost that you sold 3, and it doesn't leave it. If you sell 3 in 1 week, then that's just more revenue for the rest of the month, right? So, like, I just want you to keep all of that in mind. Okay. So after 3, you raise it. And then I want you to think about capacity. So when you're nearing your capacity, when you're getting to a point where you just cannot accommodate any more people, or you have to hire additional staff, I want you to raise prices based on your capacity. So think of that airplane pricing. And so the last 2 spots on my roster are the most expensive spots on my roster. The last 1 spot is the most expensive client I bring in every year, right? My time is more valuable because it's in more demand. And I want the same for you. And so if you are struggling, I cannot leave this broadcast without extending an invitation. If you're struggling with pricing, please reach out. Like, our team, we will, first of all, we're here to serve. We are resources. We want to be a resource for you. And so if you're struggling with how to price these things, don't stay stuck. If you're feeling, literally, I had a call today where I know that the person I was chatting with was getting paid a third of what she could make doing the exact same thing. I know what the market rates are. I know what folks in my coaching cohorts are charging. I know what my clients are charging for this type of service. So I know that she was getting paid a third of what she can make doing that. That's a lot of money left on the table. That's a lot of money left on the table. And when you think about that over years, when you think of that over months, like what you're losing by undercharging, the stress that you're feeling because it feels like one more thing to do, where it feels like you have more busy work because you're over servicing, you're not getting paid what you're worth. Um, and the resentment that you might start building, or the desire where you feel like you have to quit because it's just not working out. You're getting clients, but they're all low paying. Well, if you just up leveled a few of those, you'll feel differently, right? You'd feel totally different. And so if you are struggling with how to price your services, how to price your programs, reach out. Again, everyone in this group has a personal concierge. So if your first name begins with the letters A through M, Sai is your concierge. If your first name begins with the letters N through Z, N is in Nancy through Z, Lucille is your personal concierge. So reach out, um, ask questions, raise your hand in the comments, let us know, because we definitely have tools and resources to help you with that, and we're happy to hop on a call. So again, if you want to just book a strategy session, you want to just skip the line and get some FaceTime with myself or our coach in residence, Coach Gigi. If you want to get some time with either one of us to talk through how you're currently pricing your strategy, please reach out. You can do that at successfully.com/call. Once again, I am Keita Williams, and I am the founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. And I am so passionate about helping you with the tools and the resources to get 20 new clients in 12 months or less. That we are here to serve, and we want to support you in that. And I want to see you be able to post in this community that you were just able to resign from your corporate role. So once again, I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Let's get after it.